What's up, BoogeyLights fans? Taylor here. Welcome to the Boogie Pit. Today, I want to talk about creating mounting surfaces. So, with our lights, they come with a VHP backing that works best when they're mounted to a nice, flat, smooth surface. Most importantly, we do not warranty lights that are mounted incorrectly. So we get a lot of questions about how to create those mounting surfaces using angled aluminum or flat stock aluminum. So for all of our rigs and all of our installations, we use both of those. So if you come to the front here is where we'll start. Now you have a few different options. You can either just find some flat mounting surface, but if you take a look, there's not really much up here that you could mount lights to. I mean, maybe you could do a strip here or, there's really just not much up here. So what we recommend is using either flat stock or angled aluminum. Now the angled aluminum is nice for when you have long places where you can only have 2 points of contact, so that way it doesn't flop and bend around. It's nice and sturdy. So for most of the gas power or diesel power, you will have the generator right here, and you can actually mount this to the bottom of the generator frame. But you want to do that with the generator out. That way you're not mounting it to something that moves later. But for this gas-powered rig, he had his radiator up here, so we were actually able to mount the 7-foot piece of aluminum right to the bottom of the radiator. And you want to make sure that you have enough screws in it. You don't want to just put one on each side. So we got 2 there and 2 over there as well to keep it nice and sturdy there. And it's, as I said, it makes it so much easier than just trying to find and mounting multiple strips here and have to run all those wires. You only have 1 wire and 4 screws to do your entire front of your rig there. Now as we move to the middle here, you will see the step here we were able just to mount that. He already had a flat surface there that you're able to clean. That's perfectly okay. If you have a surface like that, that's not spanning any gaps or going over any braces or anything, then that's totally okay. But now you'll see as we run down the side of the rig, he's got a frame that runs all the way down that holds his bays in place. And we used 90-degree angle iron first, so it comes in, it's like an L shape. So we drilled it into the back of the frame here, and then it stuck out just far enough to get our lights on there. The key is you want it nice and close to the edge, but you don't want it too close to where the bay doors, where they bend down here, will actually block the lights. So that's relatively easy, all right? You have, a nice flat surface to mount that to. But for instance, he's got some braces that came into play here. So you couldn't just run one continuous piece of metal, so because you got all these braces here. So what we did is we stopped the aluminum there, and then after that you'll see another piece of angled aluminum that just goes between those braces, and then we have another one down here as well. So once you put those little braces in place, then we took some flat stock and ran that flat stock on top of that and connected it to the other aluminum right there. Now you'll see that water hose that he's got coming out right there, a drainage. What we had to do is cut out a little piece of the aluminum there, that way it goes around it. So you don't want to just stick aluminum over top of that or try to bend it around it. So it's much easier if you just cut out a little section and then you still get that nice flat surface while having the drain uninhibited. And then as we move to the other side, you have a similar thing that is going on here. We had, that's where his power cable actually comes out. So we had to stop the aluminum there. And now for next to where his water drain and stuff is here, we couldn't get a screw gun in to run a whole nother piece of aluminum or angled there. So what we did is we put a small brace there and then another small brace down here, and then we used flat stock. You'll see the other brace right there, and then we use flat stock over top of it just like we did on the other side. Now as you see here, the aluminum ends up overlapping the angled there. So what we recommend doing, since you don't, even that little bit of a gap there could end up damaging the lights. So I take a shaver and just shave that down, and then I use some tape in between those to smooth out that transition there. So you want to make that transition as smooth as possible. However you do it, you can use tape, you can you maybe put a little bit of silicone there, whatever you need to do to make that nice and flat. And then the similar instance down here, we had to stop the aluminum to go around this brace that he's got here. So we got a piece of aluminum there, piece of angled there, and then we connected it with some flat stock. And then we did the same procedure. I grinded and shaved down those edges so they weren't sharp to damage the lights, and then I put a little piece of tape there to make it a nice, flat, smooth transition. Now as we move to the rear of the rig, you'll notice here he's got his generator back here on these gas rigs. And so we had 3 points of contact with this, with these beams here, and so we use flat stock. Flat stock's great for being able to bend around. You can't use the angle there, so we use just regular aluminum flat stock, and we screwed it into the bottom of this frame, the frame over here, and then the frame to the right as well. And so that way we were able to get about a 2.5, 3 foot LED strip there. Now you notice the height difference here in his back 2 bays. There's no way that you could do one continuous strip back here. So he actually the bottom of that bay was already nice and smooth. So as similar with the stairs, you're able to just clean that surface off and mount your lights straight to that. That's nice and easy. No aluminum needed for that. And then if you look to his passenger side here, exact same situation. He's got a height difference between the bays. So what we ended up doing for the propane bay here is we used the aluminum angle, put 3 screws to hold that in place. You got your 3 screws, then the lights go all the way at the very edge of that to make sure that they're not getting blocked by the bays there. You can see how that bay kind of bends down. You want to make sure those lights are as close inward as possible so that they get, you know, the max effect. And then for the back bay there, his battery bay, you'll see we were able to just use flat stock to screw that in place. So no angle needed there. So that is how to create mounting surfaces. Now there's all kinds of different obstacles that you'll run into down here, but if you just use a little bit of ingenuity, you can use that angle and that flat stock come really nice and handy, and it gives you that nice flat surface. It makes the lights, it may take a little more time mounting it, but it makes the process of actually sticking the lights up and wiring much easier in the long run, and your lights will last a lot longer. Now everything that you see here was done in-house in Florence, Kentucky at BoogeyLights. Give us a call and get it lit up today.